social media and professional boxing. Boxer, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, the problem child, Jake.
Time two division world champion, the hard-hitting, current and undefeated WBA super featherweight and WBA lightweight champion of the world, Gervonta.
Fundamental things that could, nice.
Oh, Pedraza's are indeed high, with Gervonta Tank Davis daring to be great.
Right now, Jake Paul's kind of measuring his man.
Experience. This is Pedraza.
Oh, shock counter from the problem child. Now it is Jake Paul who is focusing more on the boxing instead of looking.
And it appears Davis' confidence is growing by the second.
Pedraza's not doing some of the
down there, but that one wasn't the best. To talk about this, but because of Pedraza's...
Yeah, Davis landing some sharp shots.
Davis attacks the body with the right. That left hook was...
Oh, that overhand right is coming from Jake Paul for his professional fights.
Just with an eruption here.
The beginning of round 9 and round 8, over 16,500 were on their feet as they watched Davis. And this fight...
Gervonta Tank Davis. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Atlanta, Georgia, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner tonight, seeking his third division world title. Wearing white trunks with yellow and silver trim, the young star of boxing from Baltimore, and representing his adopted home of Atlanta, Georgia. He weighed in at 139 3/4 pounds with a sensational record of 24 wins, no losses. He has 23 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here's the popular and acclaimed three-time two-division world champion, the hard-hitting, current and undefeated WBA super featherweight and WBA lightweight champion of the world, introducing Gervonta Davis.
On Netflix, to those of you joining us right here in Texas, are you ready to make history? Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, silver and chrome trunks. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 227.2 pounds. He holds a near perfect professional record of 10 victories, 1 defeat, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. He is the multi-talented superstar who bridged the gap between social media and professional boxing. Boxer, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and a promoter, and the self-proclaimed of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the problem child, Jake El Gallo Paul.
This wasn't just a boxing match, it was a collision of hype, hunger, and ego on the grandest stage. Jake Paul stepped through the ropes with a promise to shock the world one more time, carrying the weight of every critic and every believer. Across from him stood Gervonta Tank Davis, calm and cold, the living embodiment of power and precision. And when the dust finally settled, the arena was a storm of disbelief. Fans were frozen in awe, the crowd roared to its feet, and social media erupted into chaos. You're watching Boxing Edge, your front row seat to every knockout, rivalry, and defining moment in combat sports. In this exclusive breakdown, we unpack the showdown few thought would happen, yet everyone demanded, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. From the electric ring walks to the massive size gap, from the mind games to the explosive exchanges, this fight had everything: controversy, adrenaline, and a highlight reel that will echo through the sport. Stay locked in. The story behind this clash is only beginning, and the analysis starts now. Jake Paul's rise. From YouTube stardom to pay-per-view headliner, Jake Paul has forced the boxing world to pay attention. What began as viral entertainment evolved into a calculated campaign of legitimacy. His victories over Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, and Tyron Woodley weren't just wins, they were proof of transformation. Each bout polished his timing, sharpened his defense, and built a fighter's composure. The skeptics who once laughed now watch in cautious respect. But tonight, the challenge ahead is unlike anything he's faced. This isn't just about survival. This is about belonging among the sport's elite, proving that his rise isn't an act, it's evolution under pressure. The legacy of Tank Davis. Gervonta "Tank" Davis stands as one of the most complete finishers of this generation. Speed, accuracy, and destructive power define his every move. With multiple world titles and an unbroken record, he has built a resume written in knockouts: Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, Rolando Romero. Each name is a reminder that when Tank steps into the ring, he doesn't just fight, he dominates. Every punch he throws carries authority. Every combination is crafted through hours of precision and discipline. Tonight, that legacy is on trial against an unpredictable challenger who refuses to bow to the odds. Mental warfare and mindset. Jake Paul's power may draw headlines, but his mindset is what keeps him standing. He thrives in chaos, using pressure as fuel. Every stare down, every interview, every skeptical headline becomes motivation. Each fight has tested his ability to stay composed when tension peaks. Against Davis, that psychological edge might be his best weapon. The key will be patience under fire, absorbing pressure, adapting quickly, and turning split-second chaos into controlled opportunity. Tonight, raw aggression meets measured calculation, and only one mindset will hold steady when the lights burn brightest. Camp to combat, Jake's preparation. Paul's preparation for this bout has been relentless. Weeks of intense pad work, endless rounds on the heavy bag, and high-tempo sparring have honed his rhythm and endurance. Every element of training, footwork, distance management, counter setups, was engineered with Davis in mind. Nothing was left to chance. His coaches built simulations of Tank's speed and explosiveness, forcing Jake to adjust in real time. What emerged from that grind is a fighter who doesn't just punch, he plans, calculates, and executes. In the ring, his goal isn't to brawl, but to break down patterns and read the rhythm of destruction. Tank's power and preparation. For Gervonta Davis, power isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare. Sparring partners describe the fear that builds before the first bell even rings. His sessions replicate real combat, unrelenting pressure, sharp counters, and no room to breathe. He drills angles and footwork until every motion feels instinctive. For Davis, dominance begins long before fight night. The objective is simple: control every second, smother resistance, and dismantle confidence before it takes shape. When the lights come on, he becomes a storm in motion, leaving little doubt about who commands the ring. Jake Paul's evolution. Each victory in Jake Paul's journey has been another step away from his YouTube roots and closer to true legitimacy. Nate Robinson's knockout was his announcement. Ben Askren's fall proved his punch. Tyron Woodley's collapse confirmed his composure. Each chapter tested his grit, discipline, and adaptability. The entertainer has become a tactician. But tonight, that story meets its harshest critic. Tank Davis isn't just another name, he's a human litmus test for how real Jake Paul's evolution truly is. One mistake could shatter years of progress. Momentum and motivation. Both fighters enter this night driven by entirely different forces. For Jake Paul, his following is his fuel, a global fan base that turns every post, every cheer, and even every insult into momentum. For Gervonta Davis, motivation runs quieter but deeper. It's about defending his throne, preserving a legacy, and reminding the world that there's a canyon between celebrity boxers and world champions. This isn't a fight for belts, it's a fight for credibility, a battle to define who belongs in the rare air of boxing's elite. Expect intensity from the opening bell. Tank's history of destruction. When you trace Davis's career, one thing is clear: his knockouts don't just end fights, they make statements. From the brutal uppercut that dropped Leo Santa Cruz to the calculated demolition of Mario Barrios and the ruthless precision that silenced Rolando Romero, Tank's performances have shaped modern boxing highlight reels. Every punch has purpose, every finish leaves a mark. Against Jake Paul, he brings the same cold precision. Each jab, hook, and counter might not just win rounds, it could end debates. Clash of styles. This bout is a collision of philosophies. Jake Paul's measured patience and range control meet Gervonta Davis's ferocious forward pressure. It's strategy versus instinct, counterpunching versus pursuit, intellect versus intensity. The fight unfolds like chess played at full speed, with every adjustment carrying massive consequences. The first man to establish rhythm will dictate not just the pace, but the entire narrative of the contest. One misread, one mistimed step, and the momentum could flip in an instant. In a matchup this close, every second matters, and every mistake could become the defining highlight of the night. As the opening bell rings, tension hangs thick in the air. Every movement, every breath inside the ring feels loaded with consequence. Jake Paul's sharp counters have the power to flip momentum in a heartbeat, but against Gervonta Davis, hesitation is fatal. A single lapse in timing, one step too far forward, could spell disaster. This is a fight balanced on the edge of instinct. Every round becomes a mental and physical test of reaction, precision, and control. Under the glare of bright lights and with millions watching around the world, neither man has the luxury of blinking. In this arena, one heartbeat too slow could decide everything. Paths to victory. Both fighters enter with clear blueprints to claim victory. For Jake Paul, it begins with control, distance, rhythm, and pace. He must stay disciplined, manage the early storm, and drag the fight into deeper waters where conditioning and composure can tilt the balance. His jab becomes his anchor, patience, his greatest ally. If he can frustrate Davis, disrupt the tempo, and force late mistakes, he can rewrite the narrative. For Gervonta Davis, simplicity defines danger. His strategy is built on pressure, precision, and punishment. He'll stalk forward, cut off angles, and corner his opponent until escape is no longer possible. Once Jake is trapped, Tank's combinations turn from technique to artillery. For Davis, chaos is not a setback, it's the plan. One clean shot could end the night before strategy even matters. Conclusion: when hype meets history. The world has witnessed Jake Paul's evolution, from viral sensation to a fighter willing to test himself against boxing's elite. Now, that transformation faces its ultimate judgment. Across the ring stands Gervonta "Tank" Davis, a man whose name alone commands respect and whose fists have built a legacy of destruction. The question is no longer if Jake belongs, it's whether he can withstand the power and precision of one of boxing's deadliest champions. This isn't just another bout, it's a collision between two eras of the sport. The stakes stretch beyond victory or defeat, legacy, credibility, and history hang in the balance. Jake Paul thrives on chaos, using noise and pressure as fuel. Tank Davis, on the other hand, is the calm within the storm, measured, silent, and surgical. When fists fly, mental toughness will prove as decisive as physical skill. The man who controls nerves, reads rhythm, and adapts faster will claim the upper hand. Round by round, chaos and control. Expect an explosive opening. Jake will probe, feint, and circle, trying to read Davis's timing. Tank will close distance with precision, punish hesitation, and impose his will with crushing combinations. Each round could swing like a pendulum, momentum changing with every exchange. Knockdowns, counterattacks, and defensive brilliance will paint a story of survival and ambition. The ring becomes a chessboard drenched in adrenaline. Endurance will decide who breaks first. Jake's team has focused on adaptability, endurance circuits, pressure simulations, and drills to sharpen composure under fire. Davis's camp has gone in the opposite direction, pure intensity. Relentless sparring, heavy bag marathons, and precision under fatigue. His camp is built around domination, not adaptation. This is not just a physical contest, it's psychological warfare in motion. Every glance, every step, every faint twitch of timing is strategy disguised as instinct. Tonight, power meets patience, fame meets legacy, and only one fighter will walk away validated by history. Under these lights, there is no pretending. There is only truth, and the truth will be written in the final punch.